Yeah, in 2009, then we realized that, either we'll, if we keep on burning with this pace, we will get finished. We'll get completely burned out. We will not have any capital left. So we said, okay, let's stop burning money and wait for your turn and start focusing on manufacturing. And that's how we started building more factories in 19, 20, 21 and now. And that's how we, pivoted on the manufacturing game. And the whole idea is that unless and until you have access to supply chain. For example, if today I have to make a triple screen fold, I don't have access to the screen. So how do you come up with the latest?
When you say access to supply chain,
yes,
you're talking about the company in China that gives
makes the screen, okay? That makes a display. But the other bigger company there, for example, let's say Huawei has a triple screen. Huawei has already blocked that. He said, okay, for 1 year you can't give to anybody else because I am promising you this much of volume.
So Nikhil, how it happens is all partners like supply chain partners, screen, battery or processor, they work with bigger brands and everybody has an alpha customer on their list. Let's say Huawei would be the alpha customer on the list. So every first technology would go to Huawei. He will block the capacity and when it is over, it will come to us. New technology means all resources, they will depute to Huawei. Right. And then it will come to the market and Huawei will take the first leg of new product which is launching, which goes for chipsets, screens, sensor.
When you go from a peak to a low, what is the one lesson that we can learn from your experience that you have learned already?
Today, our manufacturing is bigger than, the revenue is way more bigger than what we used to do in our brand, which probably not most of the people will know.
Yeah.
But we are doing way more better than what we used to do earlier.
No, I know the Micromax comebacks.
No, I know.
I'm going to come to that
I am
next.
coming. So in between, you're trying multiple things. I think what has worked for us, which we later realized that stick to your core.
What did you realize is your core?
So my core was to remain with tech. So for example, not start a real estate company. Or real estate is doing good, go there. Or something else is doing good, go there. Or something. So this thing was already there. The whole manufacturing, the factories, what we created, for Micromax was already there. So why don't we build on that? And start doing for others. That helped and that's how so at Micromax time, we were having probably 1 or 2 factories. Now we have 4 large factories, 5th coming up and then...
you just acquired a new factory as well.
Yeah.
How does India build the supply chain?
Great. So it's a process. So the process is that you start with, initially to start with EMS.
EMS is?
EMS is the electronic manufacturing services that you start the EMS process. Then you start getting the design out there in country. Then after design, you start working on the supply chain, the component ecosystem. Right. So this all is a process one by one. I mean,
if I'm 25 and I want to start a component company, I raise a little bit of money, put up a factory. How will I ever compete with somebody in China who's manufacturing millions of units?
No, so you can do that. So there is so much of material which goes inside. For example, a glue on a glue machine, on SMT, is a glue. That's glue. So I just found out that glue, the particular glue is still coming from China. Why can't we make that here? And I started finding out why the chemical companies can make that glue out here. You can do that. Probably there is, maybe somebody has to find out and get into that. I know someone, who said, okay, after finishing my engineering, what should I do and all, and then went on search that what India is importing a lot, and he found out all the coins material, right? For the coins, currency coins, the material, we still import. We started making that, we started supplying that. So you just...
Is that an opportunity for me? I think US will, in the tariff world, not buy from China like they once did.
Components is a huge opportunity. So for example, now India is projecting a market of $500 billion by 2030. It's a huge market. 60% of that is components.
And we're also incentivized to use the locally manufactured
If
components.
manufacturing is coming here, 100% components will come here. And like batteries.
That's an opportunity too.
100%.
Like I want to make money. I'm 25 in this industry. Component is part
EMS
of
is I think next 10 years is EMS.
So And the component PLI scheme is coming. Maybe by the time this podcast is out, the scheme will be announced.
How do I go about starting that? Let's say a EMS company, a EMS manufacturer.
Great. So take a mobile phone, get into each and every component. There are so many. So in a mobile phone, there are, let's say, 700, 800 components. Maybe in his phone, maybe it will be more. iPhone will be way more, right? Get into that.
How do I find that out? Like, I want to know, I'm assuming US, China are going to hate each other for some time more. Apple phones are made in the US. They can't buy that particular product that they have been from China anymore. How do I figure out what that component is and then how to build it?
Just tear it down. Nikhil, these days it is actually simpler. You go on ChatGPT.
There are sites on internet where you could just see tear down of every
tear
phone.
down, you can find out, what are the components, and then you find out, okay, how many components are there in India. Go on the export list, import list, that what all are getting in the country, right? What is the volume? And these days you can get access to all the customs data easily.
Yeah.
So
I think you should
huge
also,
opportunity.
You should also work at a EMS to get some industry knowledge.
Experience. There is somebody working with him for a year. He would know everything where does opportunity lie.
How big is the incentive for someone like Carl? Say you're selling nothing phones in India. You source from me in Bangalore versus a Chinese component manufacturer. Is the incentive enough to warrant the change in price?
So right now we have to pay duties on components that are sourced from other countries like China. So the more we can source locally, the more we can lower the prices of our product to then be more competitive on the market. So we're very incentivized. And if we're able to tap into PLI, and I think the PLI regulation will also be more and more requiring of the brands to source locally, and they will raise the bar every single year. We're very incentivized to source locally. As a business, we just need to make the best decision for our shareholders.
So till now you've told me, go to ChatGPT, figure out, or
No,
go to the
that was
website.
just as I said, these days there are a lot of
Right.
avenues where you can go and find out multiple sort of information.
Right. So I figure out one component which is going into US cell phone manufacturer, which is coming from China. And then I go about figuring if that raw material is available in India. I identify that there is. What do I do next to set up a factory which makes it?
Okay, let's take an example. Carl, can I use your phone? Let's say there's this USB socket,
Yeah.
right? This USB socket is the most abused component here because let's say 1,000,000 times you're going to, right? So this means to say that this will require a special sort of material, study that material, where that material is available, who is manufacturing it, at what cost, and absolutely go to the root of that. And then see what are the, if you can go and visit these factories, tapping someone, getting into a network.
These factories in China.
Wherever,
Yeah.
if possible. See, and then understand the standards. See why this is not happening. Why I gave you a glue example, because people said, no, India can't make that. Why can't we make that? We are fantastic in our chemical industry, our pharmaceutical, they're doing brilliantly well. Probably there's not awareness of that or the volumes and everything. But I think if we are going to go, let's say from 100 billion to $500 billion, it's a massive opportunity. Similarly here.
What else can be done? Like, see, the outcome of this is we want, even if it's 5 kids who start solving for the supply chain problem dependency that we are talking about, if that is the go-to action that happens because of the time we have spent today, I think we can all say today was worth it.
So we spoke.
And I think we will need 5,000 of those kids because it's a huge universe. And we don't have it here.
Yeah.
We have to bring it in.
Yeah.
And by the way, brands like us are desperately looking for people to do it for us. I mean, it's our need also.
What is the biggest need? Say 2 things that you want.
Let's say for us, for an example, in watches we do, the largest component is the screen. The screen is like $5 or something. And if I import, there is a 15% duty, which means every screen I'm paying what? $1.5, close to $1? If you make it in India, it's a huge volume. It's maybe 500,000, 1 million screens a month.
What is the margin in screen business?
I'm sure if he cost arbitrage, if you look into it, if he still makes 10% or 7%, it's just one SKU you have to keep producing.
Oh, the smartphone screens from China, those companies are losing money to sell the screens
Yeah.
because they have policies that subsidize the creation of that industry. So at least for the smartphone screens, it's very hard for.
So you're saying our import duty has to be higher than their subsidy, at the least,
At the least, yeah.
right?
So one is import duty, and second, of course, the PLI schemes coming on components
Correct.
will incentivize to use more Make in India.